Hello, everyone. Sorry about being late. I had some system issues. Well, user of the system issues, not system issues. So let's go ahead and get started. It's just a couple of updates. Let's see, Sam with us. Sam, I think you're on your iPhone, right? I was gonna, or maybe John. Do you have the
Yeah.
survey? You and I and Sam had met. Can somebody pull the survey up, please?
Yeah, John, if you wouldn't mind sharing your screen on that. I
Yeah.
apologize. My
No, you're
son's
fine.
got an orthodontist this morning, so we're
Yeah.
on our
No, I got it. I should have warned you or told you. I put you on the spot for it, but I just wanted, for the good of the group, show that we've made some progress in the sense of identifying. At last meeting we had talked about putting the survey out, and we did get some responses to it. And while you're pulling it up, John and Sam, can you remind me how many responses we got? LEA responses over
Scott, I think we got around 40.
40. Yeah. So about a third, well, yeah, a little less than a third of the LEAs, but most of it was intended to go to LEAs that, had already identified that they needed to convert their systems or were in the process of doing that. So I just wanted to show you some of the results, because actually it does look like potentially we can make the 4 million go. I mean, it's still, I'll still stand by my position that it's not enough, but that it would look like, it looks like it'll actually go further than I thought, though, too. So as you see, gosh, John, if you could send this over to Cami later, she can email it out to the group so that they can spend a little bit more quality time going through it at their, they don't have to, but they can. I think the key takeaway for me was, question 3, which is column G, and okay, so just as a reminder, there's the 4 cooperative contracts that are at the state level. They're with CGI, Tyler Technologies, Power School, and Skyward. And it does seem like there's quite a bit of interest from the field in Tyler Technologies. For those who are in QuickBooks, that there's a lot of interest in Tyler Technologies. As far as the quote's going. In fact, I heard from Tyler Technologies, and they're very interested in trying to without unduly influencing any of the procurement processes or anything like that. They're really interested in trying to and we've talked about this before, trying to get in front of, for lack of a better term, as many schools and or districts as possible. So so later I'll be, I'll consult with Adam Hurd. He's our procurement director, on what that would look like, to see if there's some mechanism we can have for them to schedule a time when they can present to as many schools as possible. Which leads me to my next update for you as the group. Chair Moss and I met with this Royce Van Tassel, who many of you know is, and I always get his organization wrong, so forgive me on that, but he leads out basically a conglomerate of charter schools that belong to an organization of his that supports the charter schools. And
UAPCS is the acronym, Scott.
Okay, UAPCS. So and I think that stands for Utah Association of Public Charter Schools. So and I mean, kudos to Royce. He's not trying to again unduly influence or anybody, but what he is trying to do, and I believe he told me he was either meeting with the quote unquote business administrators of the schools, which would include Red Apple. Red Apple serves many of the schools that are in that organization, in order to try to promote as much as possible that conglomeration so that, schools that go individually to a vendor are likely to get much different amounts in their quotes or higher amounts in their quotes than if 10 schools go to those. So he's helping us with that, because as I've articulated in previous meetings with this great group, is that the legislature was pretty adamant that they don't want us at the state level saying, hey, everybody go into this one system or everybody go into this. We can do what we did, which is go out and establish these cooperative contracts. We obviously have done that, and then proceed from there. Again, I really appreciate what Derek, who I don't think he's here today, but he talked about the choke point and his efforts to make sure that we were looking closely at getting these charter schools converted out of QuickBooks into it. So I think we're making progress there. So long story short, with the Royce piece of it, or the that conglomeration, he said that he would provide me something like this for those schools. Now, many of the schools that are part of UPCS are on here, right, or on this survey, but that he would start to gather the data, so to speak, on the way ahead for them as well. So but subject to them obviously providing that to him, so that we can ultimately, my intent is by the next meeting is to basically show everybody here the distribution plan of the 4 million, but that's still going to take a little bit more time and effort to gather information and make sure that we're covering as many LEAs as possible to again maximize the $4 million as much as possible. So back to the survey, and I mean the whole survey itself is very meaningful. There's a lot of information in here. There might be some things we still would like to clarify. So what I'd like to do is have John send this over to Cami, so then Cami can subsequently send this out to the group. So then for our next meeting, again, my intent is to have like a draft distribution plan for the next meeting. But if you'll take the time to read through this, then hopefully you'll see the correlation between what I put together as the draft distribution plan and what the input is from the field so far on this. So, yeah, so John, if you can just kind of slowly, and you've been doing that tap through there, you can see that some are like full-blown implementation costs, but others are, just upgrade type things. So obviously our first intent or priority for the money, unless, you tell me otherwise, our first intent would be for schools that really have to get out of systems we know are not compatible with USIMS and then go from there, right? I would really like to make that 4 million go as much as possible, or, to others that are needing to upgrade so that they can have systems that not only are compatible with USIMS, but, help them at the local level with maybe an additional module like a procurement module or something like that. But, I just wanted to make sure I put in my notes here for this meeting that, just to reemphasize that the priority of the funding is to provide LEAs with, that resource in an equal manner as possible to get them into systems that are more compatible. So I'm just going to pause there and see if there's any questions or concerns with anything that I've updated the group on to this point in this meeting. Over. Okay, nothing. Okay. All right. So then any questions about the way ahead then and for the intent of the next meeting? Now, what I'm going to ask is Cami to not schedule a meeting for probably another 3 to 4 weeks, just so we give Royce and some other individuals time to do that, to give us time to go through this And then that next meeting, I think, will be the big meeting that finally pushes us into the realm of getting distribution out. So I'll just pause there and see if there's any questions or concerns about that. And if there's any expectations that, you know, of the group that I might have missed. No? Okay. All right. So again, you know, look to see or receive this, you know, from Cami in an email. And, you know, take some time before our next meeting to go through it. But then, you know, I'll be working on with Sam and John and the staff here at USBD to consolidate this input with the input that I get from Royce, with other input that we've received from the field, from districts as well, you know, and other charter schools on a kind of a, you know, what really amounts to a one each basis, so that we can, you know, once and for all get to more of a distribution plan for you to all look at and help us with, and see if you'll support that from your different vantage points and expertise. Okay. So any questions about the way ahead at this point? Okay. I appreciate everybody's time, and I look forward to our next meeting. Okay. So if I could just have all the USBE staff stay on, that's in the meeting, you know, including our IT folks, Katrina, the project managers, Dawn, everybody. So everybody else can drop off and look for that next invite in this to come out to you for your review.